All right, everybody, give me just 1 second here. How is everybody? Monday night, Monday. I apologize. I was a little under the weather. I think it started. I know it was during the 6A1 title game, but I think it started in between Saturday games at UCO. But I was down for the count on Sunday, but I'm much better today here on Monday, which is a good thing because the busy week begins tomorrow at UCO with press conferences. So all is good. Let me make sure everything is working on the comment wise here before we get started here. Miss Courtney, first comment. There it is. Everything's working. Sorry, I was on a little bit late tonight. I thought I had an issue with the audio, but it was turned down. T. Fred in the house. There's my Elgin friends. Billy here and Jared. They got a big game this week. T. Fred, Carl Albert got their 20th state title of the weekend. They sure did. Dominating fashion as well. Junk in the house. Good to see Junk. It was good to see all the games and all the classes being played this week, too. After the bye week last week. So we get the 4A match. We all wanted to the end of the high school football season. Yep, the very last game of the year is going to be 4A. That's going to be fun. Oh, T. Fred, you're starting off way too fast. You're going to get everybody going here. Chris Devine, Bixby wins again. I got some notes on that here in a second. I'm about to start the TikTok here in a second. So, oh, Jared, 2 big gains for the family. That's right. Yeah, T. Fred's picks haven't been all the best this year. So, T. Fred's a little emotional right now. His Irish lost football game. I think they lost a basketball game on Friday. So everybody just excuse T. Fred. He's just having a bad moment in sports right now. He'll be fine here shortly. All right. Start to TikTok. Overtime, Chris Evans. Get this over here. Copy. Paste. Go live on TikTok. Comments over in the TikTok, paste, and there you guys go. Okay. TikTok is taken care of. Oh, okay. So T. Fred's basketball team won on Friday against Lawton Max. So they must have lost on Tuesday. Last Tuesday is when they must have lost there. So Jason, will you be there Friday afternoon cheering on the Adair Warriors? Well, I will definitely be there. So this week is just like last week for me. I will be at UCO tomorrow morning, Tuesday morning, from 9 to 11. We'll have press conferences for all 6 teams, all 6 head coaches, and 2 players will be in the press conference, and 1 player for each team will be in a separate deal. They're doing some PSAs with each with a kid. So the head coach and 2 players will be in a press conference. At 3 classes will be from 9 to 10, and then from 10 to 11 will be the 3 other classes for their state championship press conferences. And so I don't know if you guys were able to watch any of the NFHS network, any of the games last week at UCO anyway. You noticed before kickoff and during halftime, we replay those press conferences, and that's what I'll be doing tomorrow And so it's a really cool deal. You get to hear from the coaches. All the media gets there and ask all the questions, and they can do all their stories, all their preview stories, all their human interest stories. And then that allows all these other schools to practice the rest of the week without media, for the most part, without media. So it was a really good turnout last week for Media Day, and hopefully the same thing will be tomorrow. But I will be there with my camera. I'll be there with my questions. And so looking forward to the press conference on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, we got the High School Huddle and a few more things to do as far as production. And then we'll have 2 games on Thursday, 2 games on Friday, and 2 games on Saturday. We'll be producing those games once again this week. So that will be a lot of fun this week, as this is the final week of the high school football season. Hard to believe. It is here. We will have a High School Huddle show on Wednesday, and we'll also have one next Wednesday. I suppose I'll have another overtime next Sunday night as well. So as we wrap up the football season, and then we get ready for the winter sports. I know it's going to be busy, so. Junk says, Adair Stroud was the game of the playoffs. Yes, I got to see a few of the highlights in that game. I got some notes there on that as well. Is that carried live? Good question, Jared. Those press conferences are not carried live. Not by the OSSAA anyway. The goal for the OSSAA is to not only help the coaches and teams with media, limiting the media request outside of this media day, is also to have these, not only the coaches, but especially the kids that have a press conference setting. And so if you stream those live, you usually, you'll get a lot of media people not come and get the information that they need. So they're trying to make it a event for the players to be there at press conference. But I will be there with my recordings. And did I put those on the Huddle YouTube? I can't remember if I did that or not. Did I put those live? I don't think I put those live, did I? Let's see here. I did. Okay, so I did put those on there. So I'll do the same thing this week. So I won't carry them live, but I will go and cover them on Tuesday, come home. I got a lot of production stuff, and I will upload the press conferences just like I did last week on the High School Huddle YouTube page. So won't be live, but I will have them on the YouTube channel hopefully by Tuesday night. For sure, Wednesday morning, I'll be in front of this computer doing a bunch of production work anyway. So I will hope to carry that, publish those. Won't be live, but I will definitely publish those like I did last week. Good question, Jared. Thanks for bringing that up. Aaron, yeah, Pecola's still in the house. That's tough loss for Pecola. We're going to get these games here in just a second. Couldn't get it done on Friday, but we will be back. We had our chances down 5 in the fourth quarter, had the ball twice, had a chance to take the lead. Yeah, those are tough, man. Those are tough. This year, Pecola lost to Rejoice, Vian, and Tonkawa. And all 3 of those teams are in state championship games. So, man, I get it. I get it. Hominy or Talihina, Randy's asking. Well, I can tell you, Randy, my preseason state championship pick was Talihina. I got nervous for a second that they weren't going to make it to the championship. They had a rally, but they get it done. Talihina and Adair both had tremendous games. Ryan Cutting, always good to hear from Ryan on the Facebooks. Jason, prediction, Adair versus Vian. Adair 34-14. Well, I'll talk about these games here in just a second. I'm trying to get these out here real quick. But, man, so I picked Davis to win the state championship way back in August. But it was something about Vian once the playoff brackets came out that I really thought Vian would be in the state championship game. And they beat Davis last week. Was it 21-0? I haven't looked at it yet. 21-0, I think it was. And they look good. Yeah, 21-0. And they look good doing it. That will be a fantastic ball game in that championship with Adair. Again, I didn't know if Adair was going to get there or not, but they rallied. They were down by, I think, 12 points in the third quarter. I saw some of those highlights as well. I'll talk about that game here in a second. Ryan, does Hominy get it done? Go Bucks. So I picked Hominy to get to the state championship game when the brackets came out and they're there. I one more note. I just got notification of this today. I don't believe that the Hominy head football coach will be at the press conference tomorrow, just because my understanding is his mother passed away, so he will not be there. We're working on maybe a special thing, tribute to her in the Hominy coach during the game broadcast. So, but I don't think he'll be there. I think his assistant head coach will be there, and a couple of players as well. So, but yeah. But does Hominy get it done? So no pick is official till Wednesday night, but I don't know. I don't know. Right now, I'm going with Talahina right now until proven otherwise. We'll see here in a second. Missed a nail biter over in Beggs between the Tigers and the Owls. Yeah, great game. Charlie, there he is. Charlie got a front row seat to that Talahina football game. So, all right. So we'll talk about all these games and plus all the state championship games from last week. If you guys have any questions on anything particular on the state championship games, I have those box scores in the other room. So I can get those out if you have any specific questions on the state championship games as far as stats or anything like that. Also, real quickly before we get into these games, everyone watching on TikTok, appreciate you guys on the TikToks. A reminder that the best chance for your comment to be viewed is if you go over our YouTube channel, which is at the High School Huddle. I put the link down in the comment on YouTube. And so if you go over there and subscribe, I will more than likely see your comment a lot faster on YouTube and or Facebook. So appreciate everybody over there on TikTok. All right. Well, we can go over these here real quickly, and we kind of get into each of these games here. You guys can ask your questions or comments, and we can definitely talk about that. Bixby, 31-17 over Owasso. It was actually not a bad game. So we got to call the the broadcast games on 6A1 state semifinals, and then we produced. I was not on the call of those, and I'm not broadcasting those games. I'm producing all the games, but not calling those games. I have to be with production. Got to make sure everything goes right with that production, replay, stats, graphics, internet connection, all that stuff. So I get people from around the state to do those games, and they will have those games. I can tell you guys here in a little bit what games who will be calling as well. Got those assignments. Although it will be one little change on Thursday. Had someone come in and had to do a late scratch on that. So if you're interested in that, I can help you with that as well. All the games will be on the NFHS network like they were last week at UCO. So Bixby, 2 scores in the fourth quarter. They win at 31-17. It was a really good ball game. Bixby with the late score to pull away, and Bixby has now won 8 straight championships, 4 in 6A1, 4 in 6A2. They've won 11 state championships in 12 years. Owasso has lost to Bixby 4 years in a row in the playoffs. 3 of those came in the state championship game. So Owasso is tired of seeing Bixby in the playoffs, especially state championship games. But Cord Nolan, he's headed to Texas Tech. He was a stud on all 3 phases of the ball game. Carson Kirby, the quarterback, I forget his record, 37 wins maybe? 37-2 is Carson Kirby, the Bixby quarterback. He lost 2 games his entire career, Owasso and Norman High School. So he has 2 losses and 3 state championship rings. That might be the stat of the year. 2 career losses as the starting quarterback and 3 state championships as the starting quarterback for Bixby. So absolutely crazy. Over 8,100 passing yards, over 1,000 rushing yards for him, 108 passing career touchdowns. So pretty amazing feat there. 6A2 football, going over these here real quickly. Sand Springs gets it done over Choctaw, 32-27. First time that Sand Springs won a state title since 1966. And 1966, that was also the last time Talihina won a state championship, was back in 1966. So could that be a repeat? We'll find out. Brock Odell, stud. He scored the game-winning two-point conversion in the semifinals against Pump City. He had 13 tackles, 37 in the playoffs. He's a linebacker that he didn't run the football one time on offense. Now, since the playoffs, they put him in there, and he had 22 carries for 203 yards and 8 touchdowns in the playoffs alone. So great job for him. Remember, Sand Springs started off 0-2 this year with losses to Bixby and Owasso, and then they went 11 straight, including the state championship. Coach Bobby Klink, he was fun. He was fun at the press conference last Tuesday. He was great in his pregame speech on the broadcast. He was great in postgame speech as well. Coach Bobby Klink finished up his 6th season at Sand Springs. He won state championship as a player at Jinx. He was assistant coach at Owasso. He's the defense coordinator when they won the state championship there in 19, I believe it was, or 18, one of those years. And now as a head coach, he wins another state championship. Of course, he was also the head coach at Tulsa Central, who got to the state championship game. They didn't win that one, but that was a fantastic game for 6A too. It was really good. As Sand Springs also snaps their 7-game losing streak to Choctaw. It had been Choctaw had beat Bixby Choctaw, who beat Sand Springs 3 years in the playoffs. Talihina. Charlie talking about one of the best games I've ever seen. Hats off to Fairland Owls. Could have been on either way. Talihina just got it there. Jason, the Adair boys are some dogs. We're going to talk about those here in a second. Chris, no 6A Division II school has won back-to-back state championships since Bixby. Yeah, that's cool. That's the is that 5 in a row? So you have Sand Springs, Choctaw, Muskogee, Stillwater. So is it 4 in a row? Let me get my cheat sheet here. I think that's 4 in a row, which I think is great. Class 4A, we'll talk about it here in a second. They have 7 champions in 7 years. That's changing on Saturday. Yep, that's what it is. So 5 champions in 5 years. Add Bixby to that list as well, Chris. That's a cool stat. Productions. What happened? I was searching for your stream yesterday. Yeah, Productions. I apologize. I was down for the count weather-wise. I had a head cold. Not 100%, but I'm way better than I was yesterday, and it was just a long day. I felt it coming on Saturday at the state championship games, and I was down for the count on Sunday. Didn't go to church, so I wasn't even good enough to come in here and talk on here. I didn't do any homework, and so I apologize. And for me not to be here on a Sunday night with you guys, I very rarely get sick. So apologize for that. That's why we're here on Monday. So that's 6A1, 6A2, 5A football. Carl Albert gets it done. They win it 48-7. They are now 20-1 in state championship games. It's just crazy. 20-1 in state championship games. They've won 53 straight ball games dating back to 2022. They beat McGinnis this past week 48-7. It was over. McGinnis couldn't do hardly anything offensively. And so Carl Albert now 20 state championships. That's the most by any program in the state. They passed Ada, who held that record for some time with 19, but Carl Albert gets by them, and certainly think they will be, unless something crazy happens, they're going to be the heavy favorite for the 21st state championship. They got a lot of players coming back. They got a junior heavy class, and they always seem to reload anyway. So Anderson Collier, he was 17-24, 216 yards passing. He goes over 2,200 passing yards this year, 25 touchdowns, and zero interceptions this year. So that was one of the questions I had for Carl going into the year, was how are they going to be able to throw the ball? And they really didn't need the deep ball, and they didn't really use the deep ball a whole lot. But Anderson Collier, they slowly brought him on, and he did a great job for them. Of course, Elijah Matthews was named the Oklahoma Gatorade Player of the Year. He had how many touchdowns? He had 4 touchdowns. I think he went 8 games this year with 4 touchdowns or more. He's only a junior as well. So he finished with 44 scores this year. That is the 5A notes. So we made our way to 6A1, 6A2, and 5A. Productions. I was kind of upset yesterday anyway due to Marlowe losing to Jones. Yeah, we're going to get to that game here in just a second. Not surprising. Jones has one pass that is not completed, and it goes for an interception. That was the only bad play for Jones, it felt like. Phil should get the crown winner of playoff picks. Oh, Jason, don't feed that beast. We don't need any more of that. Chris, dude, caught me off guard this Monday overtime. I figured you was down with busy weekend or something. Nope, just down with the weather and didn't get a chance to get anything done yesterday. Man, it was a head cold. Luckily, it was just a head cold and some body aches. Nothing of the real bad stuff, but I had the runny eyes and the tissue going on during the 6A1 game, and some press members in the press box had some cologne going on, and it made it even worse. I had to go out. Oh, it was bad. So, yeah, so it's Monday. All right, Class 4A football. Of course, this will be the final game of the entire season on Saturday night, 7 o'clock at UCO. Elgin, absolutely zero issues with Cushing over at PC North. Elgin Friends, was there enough seating for everybody? I didn't get to see any highlights of anything, so I'd be curious if there was plenty of seating over at PC North. But Elgin's defense, we always talk about the offense, but Elgin's defense is really good. They held Cushing to 115 yards of total offense. Amazing. Kellen Fry is a really good running back for them. He finished with 79 yards, which is pretty respectable against that Elgin defense. But his teammates only able to get 36 more yards of offense outside of him. So Tigers, they had a great season. 11-2, Coach Rusty Morgan in his 5th year. Once again, a fantastic job. They had a 10-game winning streak going into that game with Elgin. Elgin stops it, but man, Elgin is so good. Elgin, 510 yards of offense. Unbelievable. Ritzenmeyer, 85 yards in the first half as he goes over 100 career touchdowns. He finishes with 102 right now, 45 this year. So Elijah Matthews, for Carl Everett, everybody gives him all the props for scoring all these touchdowns. Well, Ritzenmeyer has one more touchdown than Elijah Matthews, and Ritson still has one more game to go this season. So how impressive is that? And it will be the Elgin Owls taking on the Tuttle Tigers, who take down Broken Bow over in Ada. 49-28 was that final score there. Sean Roundsville, the linebacker / running back, 4 touchdowns in the second half. He's gone over 1,500 rushing yards and 30 touchdowns this year. Against Broken Bow, 16 carries, 109 yards. This is Tuttle's 3rd final since 2021 and their 4th final since 2018. Of course, they won the state championship back in 2018 as well. Cruz Campbell, 201 passing yards, 61 rushing yards, also 2 touchdowns. And the great quarterback over at Broken Bow, Graydon Howe, did not throw a touchdown for the first time this season. He threw at least 1 touchdown in every single game, but the Tuttle defense holds him out of the end zone. Now, he did have a rushing touchdown, and he did rush for 121 yards, and he's a stud. He's a Division I stud, and he's a great baseball player as well. He was 19 of 31 passing for 249 yards, no touchdowns, and did have the 1 interception. So, with that, it is the Class 4A state championship game between Tuttle and Elgin. Coach Ballard, Coach Wyatt will be at the press conference tomorrow. Can't wait to talk to them, have some questions for them. It's a repeat of last year's state championship game, 29-22. Elgin got the victory there. And both teams, I think this is probably one of the questions that I ask both coaches, that their teams have stayed focused all season long. They never looked ahead. They blew people out who need to be blown out. They beat people offensively. They beat people defensively, both teams, both sides. And they stayed laser focused all season long. Of course, here we've been talking Tuttle, Elgin, Tuttle all season long waiting for this game. And it was just destiny for these two teams to be back at it again. So looking forward to that Q&A with those coaches tomorrow, as well as the players as well. I'm sure Ritson, hopefully Ritson will be there tomorrow with Coach Wyatt. I'm sure we'll get Cruz Campbell. I would guess Cruz Campbell and Roundsville would be my two guesses, but maybe one of the lanes as well. So that will be a fun press conference to have with them tomorrow morning. I think 4A gets to go first at 9 o'clock in the morning, so we'll see. Chris talking about the stands over in PC North for that Elgin Cushing game. The extra stands were in the end zone. The band and a few others went down there in those stands. Okay. Jason says Owls 23-21. It's going to be somewhere in that range. It is definitely going to be somewhere in that range. Chris, Elgin quarterback passing was on point. Gage Elam, running back that went in the fourth quarter, was smashing through two. Jared, he was the leading rusher. Jared, ask how many other kids are move-ins. Yeah, it's definitely Tuttle has the advantage in that category. They got the Lane brothers that moved in, a lineman from Stillwater that moved in, receiver from Enid, I believe, moved in. So and this is that's a small case, Jared, for 4A football. The real one would be like your 3A schools, your private schools in 3A. Carl Roberts had a healthy share of them. All your Tulsa schools have had a healthy share of transfers, and it's just going to get worse and worse. So, yeah, I don't like it, but it is what it is now. Chris, I watched the NFHS stream later. Anybody else do that? The replay guy was a little chaotic. I was having trouble figuring out those replays. Let's see. Chris, that would be Elgin and Cushing over at PC North. I can't remember who had that stream. I can tell you for the 4A title game, I can tell you that Mark Rogers and Todd Lisenby will be on the call for the 4A state championship, and Phil Nichols will have the sideline for that game as well. So I kind of knew that was going to be the big game, and so I'm bringing in the big dogs for that broadcast. I would love to have that broadcast, but I got to make sure everything gets the commercial right and all that stuff that goes with producing. So it will be Phil and Todd and Mark Rogers on the call for the 4A game. Also, the 3A state championship game we'll get those in a second. Lincoln Christian and Sulphur, it'll be the same trio as well. Mark Rogers, Todd Lisenby, and Phil Nichols on those calls. OSN crew. Okay. We had made those assignments last week, and there's been so much moving in parts. I can't remember who was where, but that does make sense. So, Carl Albert's crew. Okay. Chris Frost, all the UCO stands have been clean. Streams. Oh, have been clean. Oh, I was thinking stands. I was about to give it up to the workers in the UCO. They work hard, man. In between games, it's cold. They do a great job. UCO streams have been clean. Thank you. That's what I dedicate my full time to, is making sure it is clean and make sure everything goes off perfectly as possible. Not perfect, but man, sure do try very hard to make those perfect. Will Phil be on the sideline for the Adair game? Let's see here. 2A2 will be Todd Lisenby on the play-by-play, and he's really good. He's so good. He's the voice of UCO. He's on does a little bit of radio. He's so good. Todd Lisenby will be on the play-by-play. Doug Nelson will be the color analyst, and Josh Calloway will be the sideline reporter. And if you guys don't know any of those, I think you'll really enjoy that broadcast. Josh does a really, really good job. He did a game with us last week. He had this 5A game on the sideline, did a great job. And so it will be 2A2 will be Todd, Doug, and Josh. I guess I can I have this list up here. I can go over here real quick. So So the Class A2 game, looking for a new guy. We had something pop up tonight. So it'll be Dion Amade and Josh Calloway with somebody that I got to find tomorrow. And then the 7 o'clock game, the A1 game on Thursday, will be Mark Rogers, Dion Amade, and Josh Calloway. Usually when I bring in the talent, I try to get them to do both games just because some of them travel from Tulsa or not from a distance. And so I try to make it worth their while to, if they're here for one game, try to get them here for 2 games. Some guys live close and don't have to be here for both, but that's how I, in my mind, think it's good for them. 2A2 went over that with Todd, Doug, and Josh. The 2A1 state championship game with Josh Calloway will be on the play-by-play. Todd Lisenby will be the color commentator, and Doug Nelson will be on the sideline. And then for the Class 3A, I got to make that change right now. And then on the 3A state championship, it will be Mark Rogers, Todd Lisenby, and Doug Nelson. And the 4A state championship will be Mark Rogers, Todd Lisenby, and Phil Nichols. So that is your broadcast lineup for the week. Hopefully, Dustin, you heard me say the 2A2 game. Just now getting to that comment. Who was over the live streams of the state semifinal game? So the first week of semifinals, like our crew, we went up and did the 6A1 semifinal games. And then so this past week, I was not available. Our production crew was not available because we obviously were at UCO doing those streams. And so for the NFHS network, we asked other streaming partners to join us in streaming those games. So we had some folks from KREF Sports. We've had folks from Oklahoma Sports Network help us out. The people in Ponca City helped us out. So we try to go, Lincoln Christian folks helped us out. The Tuttle folks helped us out. Different streams. So we try to find people who know the teams as well. Try to find the best productions as possible. Is how that is done. So it can be tough sometimes. It was a little bit easier this year compared to years past. I don't think they were perfect, but I think for the most part everything went well. It's hard. It's really hard to find. I think we had 18 games. We had 6 at UCO. I think somewhere in that range. And so I always try to find the right folks to be there, and you just hope the internet's good. You hope the cables are good. You hope the computer's good. All that. There's a lot of things that go into it. So, Chris, Phil is my dog. Crowded playoff gem picker. We don't keep track of just how we do in the playoffs. It's a full package. So he's been eliminated from winning that as well. Who plays early Saturday at UCO? Chris, that will be Lincoln Christian and Sulphur. That's a 12 o'clock start. Courtney says, Ponca City was great. Loved the field setup. They did turn the lights off on us, though. Oh, yeah. We've run into that before with our productions. When we do Guthrie games, we usually have 30-minute post-game shows, which for most high schools, that's a really long time. But we've had many people turn lights off on us before. So not being at Ponca City, it's 2 teams that they don't follow, and they're ready to go home. I'm sure that's what it was. But yes, we've had the lights turned off on us on many, many times. Yeah, Chris confirms 3A is Saturday. Productions. We got to get to Marlowe Productions. I promise you we're going to get there here in a second. I'm currently trying to find information on Kingston New Year Classic for basketball because time does fly and I want to be caught up. Already playing basketball games, already wrestling as well. Dustin, my boy, will be at the press conference for Adair number 52. Awesome. I will see him bright and early in the morning. That's the only bad thing is like my friends in Adair, my folks in Laverne. In fact, Laverne, that was one of my questions I asked. What time did they leave Laverne, Oklahoma for a 9 a.m. press conference? The head coach said he got up at 4 o'clock and left Laverne at 5:15 to get there for the 9 o'clock press conference. So, but I think Laverne also gets in front of the different media outlets, the Tulsa World, the Oklahoma, and others, and maybe they can do some features on them. So hopefully it worked out for these schools to get a little bit more media attention. And plus, I know I use it here on the High School Huddle. I'll use it on the each game broadcast as well. So that's what I will do again this week, just like I did last week. Chris, glad they added seats for us at Pump City North. We needed them. I bet so. Anyone except Robert in the booth. Mark Rogers does a great job. Oh, Robert does a good job as well. Peanuts. Robert had the 6A1 and 6A2 calls this past week. Mark does a good job. Mark does a lot of games for not only for football, but there's a lot of games in basketball as well. And he does, man, he knows so much. And of course, knowing high school sports from Mark Rogers is what really got him on the Sports Animal, because he used to be on the Sports Animal for all of his high school updates. And so he would go around in his Lexus back in the day from town to town to town. He puts out the magazine every year. If you follow high school football and cover high school football, it's one of those magazines you got to have every single year. And he hand delivered mine to me this year over in Guthrie. He's on his way to Kansas City. Said, man, I got to get those magazines. We got to get our previews ready, make sure we have all the information. But anyway, Mark had to go from town to town, so he knows the highway between Adair and Pryor. I mean, he knows all that. He's so smart in all that stuff, and so he's been a big asset for what we do here. And he's been a good friend too. He's been a really good friend with everything that we have come together with over the last several years. In fact, when I got my media award by the OSSAA, Mark wrote my letter for me. So he's really been good to me. Jason, Adair has been a great squad. Stroud Tiger here, and man, it was a game. Man, I'm getting ready to get to that here in a second, Jason. That's what I keep hearing. I've seen a few highlights of Adair. I saw a hype video I think I saw from them as well. It did look like a fantastic game in overtime. Chris, the guys doing Tuttle, broken bowstrings sorted out their tech problems early on and did good. Okay, good. That game was in Ada. I have to look and see who did that game in Ada. Yeah, we always make them start your stream 30 to 45 minutes early. That way, if there's any issues, we can work those out. And I was out of pocket because I had games on Friday night at UCO. And so I help with the network in Oklahoma. That's kind of my duties, but I was broadcast or producing, so I was not much help. So I got a few emails and text messages during those, and it sounded like there was a few hiccups, and then they kind of got some things going. So hopefully that works. Chris, can you guys get a boom mic for next press conference? Some audio was hard to hear. Yes. Half of that was my fault. Half of it was coaches not putting the microphone in front, or players putting the microphone in front of them. My batteries went dead, and so I had to go off the natural sound. But I've worked on that here tonight. So, but even with the perfect everything, if I'd done everything perfect, the coaches don't talk into the microphone, and the players don't talk in the microphone, and so it's not as good. But I think Van Shea and the UCO folks are going to work on make sure they have the microphone closer to them. But yes, that is one thing that I will also remind them in the morning. So a little bit my fault, and a little bit just not used to. Everyone's not used to it there. So Talahina won 24 with 24 seconds left of the game on a 44-yard touch pass to Cy Amons. Yes. Chris, just some growing pains. Yep. Hopefully it goes a lot better tomorrow morning. I've been practicing a few times today on the audio. I went to a Guthrie school board meeting tonight, practiced there. So hopefully it goes good. Real quickly, let's get to some of these other games here real quick. Lincoln Christian over Heritage Hall. Tell me if you heard this before, 20-7. This third straight finals for Lincoln Christian. It was tied 7-7 after the first quarter. Heritage Hall made their way down to the 2-yard line, had a penalty, backed them up, didn't get back in, and then Lincoln Christian goes on a 91-yard drive that took them 12 plays. and then Lincoln Christian led at halftime 14-7. Lincoln has won 41 straight football games. And this matchup with Sulphur is a rematch of last year's state championship game. That came down to a 2-point conversion. Sulphur came up about half a yard from winning it. They lost it, though, 28-27. By the way, Heritage Hall has lost 5 games in 3 years to Lincoln Christian. Everyone else, Heritage Hall is a perfect 35-0. So, Sulphur over Perkins, 35-8. That game was played at Norman North, 22-0 at halftime. Carter Cole had a good game. Maddox Mobley had a touchdown. And so, it is a rematch of Lincoln Christian and Sulphur. All right. 2A1 football, Jones Longhorns. Here we go, Productions. You can probably help me out a little bit here as well. Jones wins at 48-21. This is the first title game for Jones since they won it back in 2016. Jones' Marlowe game was played at Noble High School. Asen Hansen was 22 of 23, passing for 303 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jones is a perfect 13-0. The only pass that Asen Hansen did not complete was tipped up by Hudson Morgan. It's an interception. And that's the only time Asen Hansen did not throw to his own teammate. So Jones scores 28 unanswered points in the second half. And actually, the Outlaws had a 21-20 lead at half. Then 28 unanswered points for Jones plants them back into the state championship game. So it'll be good to see Jones. You know, back when they were on their big run, 17, 16, 15, I didn't get to see a whole lot of their games. So it'll be kind of good to see Jones. I've not seen them in a long time in person. I've been to Jones, broadcasted. You know, the last time I saw Jones play was when they played Guthrie during the COVID year. Jones won that game too. May was the quarterback, went to Iowa, didn't play there, transferred out. So folks in Jones always really good people, treated us well as well. Of course, their girls basketball team had won 3 state championships in a row there too. So, yeah, Productions, it was 21-20 at halftime, and then Jones goes on that 28-0 run. Charlie reminds me he did pick Jones to win that game. Yeah, man, I really thought with Marlowe been there, done that, rallying behind their injured quarterback, I thought they'd get it done. I had a suspicion that Jones was going to win, but if I would have picked Jones and Marlowe would have won, I'd be mad at myself. And so that's the reason why I went with Marlowe in that one. So I think I picked Marlowe. Okay. 2A1, Washington over OCS 41-20. That game was played in Yukon. Washington playing their 6th consecutive state championship game. They've won 3 straight state championships. I did not know this. I learned this today. Of course, we know about all the Washington players, but I didn't know about Javion Hall. He had 3 rushing scores. He moved in from Tennessee. 24 carries, 186 yards. So Washington with a nice move in from Tennessee. So Jones and Washington in the 2A1 state championship game. 2A2 football. Let's start first with Vian and Davis, rematch of last year's state championship game. Vian wins at 21-0. And the first points of the ball game come with 1 second left in the first half. Vian gets in the end zone on a touchdown pass as Vian gets revenge from last year's championship game, beats Davis 21-0. So we'll have a brand new champion in 2A2 football. Another interesting fact, I did not know about this about Vian. I see Vian all the time, basically at UCO. They have not won a state championship since 1971. Kind of surprising there. Mason Wright, outstanding quarterback. Will try to get them their state championship in 54 years. Of course, Vian will be taking on the Adair Warriors. Adair won a state championship 10 years ago this month when they won the 2015 state championship. Their quarterback, Bradbury, is now the head football coach for the Warriors, and they got a good quarterback this year. Once again, Cooper McCord, he had a 2-yard touchdown, a 2-point conversion in overtime. And then we'll get to how we got to overtime here in a second. But in overtime, Stroud scores a touchdown. I believe this is correct. And then they go for 2. Low snap. Quarterback picks it up. Has a hard time just trying to get open. I think he had 3, maybe 4 Warriors surrounding him quickly. The play never had a chance. Adair walks it off in Ponca City with the victory. And Adair, they trailed by 12 points going into the fourth quarter. So good rally for them. McCourty had 133 rushing, 2 touchdowns. Easton Stevens had 3 touchdowns. Great performance by him. I think one of the big plays, my Adair fans can help me out here, but I think the big play in that one came from Cole Moody. I saw the highlight and did a little bit more research on it. I saw Cole's interception return for a touchdown, but I didn't know what part of the game or what the circumstances were. But it turns out it was a pretty big part of the game and a big part of the victory, I think, as they had a pick 6 as time expired in the first half to go up 16-14. So they would have been down 14-6, maybe 14-7. I'm not sure what it had been. But the pick 6 gives them a lead at halftime, 16-14. And then it goes back and forth in the entire second half. Just a classic high school football game. It had a very similar feel to a state championship game, back and forth. Stroud had a double reverse flea flicker for a 41-yard touchdown. So that tied the game at 34 also. That game had everything in it. It looked like it had some special teams, had a lot of offense, some defense, some trick plays. Just a fantastic game as expected. That Adair Stroud, man, I picked Adair to win that game, but man, I could see that one going either way. Stroud had lost their first game of the year to Chandler and then won all those after that. And so just a classic high school football game. And it was either that game or the Tallahena game. I would certainly think it's probably the Adair game as the game of the week last week. Maybe Charlie can convince me otherwise. But, man, such a big-time game with Adair and Stroud. So now you got Adair and Vian. It's always interesting when you look at games like this, Adair and Vian. You have a team in Vian who goes through the state champions and beats them and has really run through the playoffs pretty easily. I wouldn't say, well, I did say easy, but they've looked good doing that. Meanwhile, Adair had to hold off Holdenville in the second round, which Adair's had trouble in the last couple of years getting past the quarterfinals, but they do it. And so that gives them the confidence that if it comes down to a fourth quarter game, we're there. And what do you know? It comes down to a fourth quarter game, the next game in overtime. And I think they leaned on that confidence in late games, and they beat a good Stroud team 42-40. So Adair battled and tested, have come through some tough games. Vian rolling through theirs. And I've seen it go both ways. Those teams that have been tested go and win a state championship. And I've seen those teams just absolutely rock and roll. Bixby, Carl Albert, years past, Lincoln Christian. So it'll be a fun ball game. And my goodness, I'm so sorry. My days. So 2A2 is Friday, the first game on Friday. So we have A2. So the A's and then the 2s and 3s. Okay. My schedule, my time has been so messed up. So I forgot who was playing who. So that'll be a great game on Friday afternoon. Cannot wait to see that. Real quickly here, as we talk a little bit more about this, don't forget, if you're watching on TikTok, you want to get your questions, it's much easier if you go over to the YouTube channel and get your questions over there, subscribe and like. We went over 500 subscriptions, which is awesome. I got an email that we can do a few extra things, so I got to fill all that out and get approved for that. So big thank you for all that. TikTok, it looks like we just got a bunch of people looking in, no questions. Okay, very good. All right, let's get caught up on some questions and comments here. Vian will win this year. Oh, Charlie, you're gonna get my Adair friends going. Oh, see, you got Courtney going. It's going to be a fun game. Junk. 8 air by 6 or less, 100-yard interception for touchdown. Yeah, 100-yard pick 6. Cole Moody. Wow. Going into halftime? Yep. Right before half. Yeah. Crazy. Great timing. 101-yard pick 6. Charlie is not, he doesn't lean one heavy way to the Golden Tigers by any means. So we're going to get to Talihina here in a second. I'm glad we're talking about Talihina, Charlie. Thought for a second we might not be talking about Talihina. I can't wait to talk to Coach Gravett tomorrow. I told the guys, I told the guys this week that I think this week's state championship games have a really good chance of being really, really fantastic. If you compare this week's state championship to last week's state championships before they were played, I thought this week will be the really good games. Hopefully that's true. We had 6A1 was okay, pretty close. 6A2 was really close. 5A, B, C. Yeah, I really think this week games of championships can be really, really, really good. Hopefully that's the case. Predictions, I'm going for Washington against Jones. As of right now, Sunday night, nothing's official till Wednesday. I'm picking Jones to win that game. Chris, weather looked cold for Friday and Saturday night games. They were, unless you have a head cold and you're sneezing and your eyes are watery. I stepped outside many times during commercial breaks to get that cold air, but it wasn't horrible. But it's been colder. But most of my time has been indoors, so I did go down to the field for Class 5A and talk to McGinnis and Carl Albert for a little bit. But that's about the only time I went down on the field. I didn't go down to the field for any of the other times. So looks like fantastic weather on Thursday. I think I saw 61 or something like that. Let's see here. Might as well get this in here real quick. Weather. Thursday, high of 65. Friday, high of 57. And for Saturday, a high of 51. Pretty good weather for December. Definitely take that. Junk says the game was electric. Not a person sitting in the house, so I bet. Crowds at UCO were pretty good. I think they were, for last week's games, I think they were a little bit better last year, but still pretty good attendance. Tell you, the folks, Ryan, Oklahoma, little Class C football school, congratulations, they won their first ever state championship. They packed the stands, man. They're down by the Red River in Texas, so basically Duncan to the south to the Red River. They traveled really, really well. Bixby, Owasso, Carl, McGinnis had a really good crowd. 5A, 4A, 3A, 2A. Yeah. Sand Springs traveled well. Let's see here. Jason, 8 was taking it home on the 10-year anniversary. Go Warriors. Yep. 10 years ago. Hard to pick a game of the week. Let me look at it, see if I can come up with it real quick. I'm excited for a noon game for Talihina on the photo video side. Crispy photos for sure. I love day games, man. I guess maybe because I don't get to see them a whole lot, but there's some hype videos that the OSA has contract out. Let me pull up a day game here real quick, just to show you guys. And I think they're doing the same thing this week. So they have a very what do you call those video folks who come out and do those hype videos. They've been doing. I got this. YouTube. YouTube might not like the. YouTube might give me a little strike if I play the music. I guess I can do it without the audio. Maybe. Let me pull this up here real quick. Let you guys look at it. Just for day games. Forgot I was there. We go. Hype video. Hype video. Let me turn the audio off on here. Okay, so I'm going to fast forward this here a little bit. Audio. So here is, this is the Class C state championship game. So this is what everybody, all my Adair folks and all my Tallahena folks, this is what it's going to look like for you come this day. But yeah, here's a day game. This is Medford and Ryan. This is how we all got things going here. And so I just absolutely love day games. Absolutely love day games. So this was Ryan and Medford in the Class C. Those are great helmets, by the way. Look very much like OSU. So I love the day games. Let's fast forward here. There's Chattahoochee Stadium. You guys are going to love it. You're going to love it. This is the Walika and Sealing game. This is the B2 state championship. Of course, Walika took it to Sealing last year. This year, Sealing takes it to Walika. As congratulations to Sealing. Coach Manuel and the Wildcats get it done. So not playing the audio because of the copyright on YouTube. They'll strike us down quickly. But here, I'm kind of going through all these here real quick. So this will be fun. All right. So next we got our little night game here. This little B1 game between Dewar and Laverne. Some of the highlights here. Got the 8-man game. Got the tape on the field. So look at that catch. That was big time. Class B games, pretty good. There's a state championship, what everybody's playing for this week. Always cool moments. Of course, we carry the trophy ceremony in all of our games on the broadcast as well. We'll talk to coaches before the game, during halftime, after the game. We'll talk to players after the game. Always cool to see these players, families, coaches, all these type of celebration moments. It's really, really cool. I think UCO gives everybody 30 minutes to be down on the field. So that's always great. Let's see, this game I think this might be the 5A game. It was another day game. Yep. So this is Carl Albert and McGinnis. There's LeBron Royal. There's Young, the quarterback. He had a tough day. Tough day overall. There's Elijah Matthews, 44 touchdowns this year. Gatorade Player of the Year. McGinnis just couldn't get anything going that day. Fast forward here. There's LeBron Royal. Yep, 4 state championships. 4 in a row for them as they celebrate there. And then we're going to move over to 6A2 state championship. Choctaw. And how cool. I'll talk about this here in a second for you guys as well. I forgot to add about this point here. So these folks who do all these hype videos, there's Easton Webb. They do such a great job on these videos. It would take me 2 years to kind of even come close to trying to do what they do here. It's different groups that are doing it this year for the OSSAA. And we'll have this on the broadcast sometime as well. Fast forward here a little bit. So Gatson to Hammonds. That quarterback and that guy right there, they used to play in Guthrie. Oh my, transfers. Transfer world. Anyway. All right. Then we move over to 6A1 football, Bixby and Owasso. We'll just kind of go through these here. I mean, just look at the difference in the size of athletes in 6A1. Just crazy. Not supposed to have fog, but a couple teams had fog. Both teams won state championships, so maybe they're the risk. So just kind of fast forwarding some of this here. But anyway, that will be done this week as well with some of the highlight video. I do want to show one more thing that I think is really cool. Let me find it here. Here it is. So we have Zoom meetings this morning like we did last week with all the coaches and with the OSSAA. Basically, from ticket sales to sideline passes to national anthem to what the cheerleaders can do to parking to everything that goes into game day events. We had that Zoom conference this morning with all the coaches at 8 o'clock this morning. One of the cool things, so each team, when they exit off the highway into Edmond, they get a police escort all the way to Watland Stadium. And I captured this moment. This is Medford coming in. And so they get an escort from I-35 all the way to Watland Stadium. And there you see Medford coming in the back way into UCO. And so every team, of course, Bixby has 25 buses that they bring. Owasso brings 34 buses, but Medford only needed 2. But 8 seconds left in this one here. But that's how each team arrives over at UCO. And always cool. It's always cool for Edmond Police to do that for all the teams. And I was going to say something else. If you play a 12 o'clock game, teams cannot arrive until 9:30 at the earliest, and if you play a 7 o'clock game, teams can arrive no earlier than 4:30. Just some behind the scenes stuff that a lot of people don't know about. So anyway, I got it sidetracked. I apologize. Productions. My ranking after 2A1, if Washington wins, would be Washington 1, Marlow 2, Jones 3 because of the regular season game that Marlow had against Washington. Yeah, we'll see. We had more fans than Stroud by a lot. Courtney talking about Adair Stroud. Chris. Also Elgin is the home team for the next game. If they were a visitor again, some folks might have come unglued, including me. I think it's a real same thing with Bixby and Owasso, Chris. Same thing. Bixby was the home team last year. Owasso was the visitor. Switch them this year. Same teams, switch them. Same thing. Elgin, Tuttle, easy switch. Charlie, talked to 66 for Tally, my son's starting center. Awesome. So 66 for Talihina. Was it 61 or 62 for Adair? 62, I think it was. I will have my questions ready. It's a lot having an idea of what you're trying to shoot. That's what I've learned so far. Yeah, you guys are awesome at how you do that stuff. It's really fantastic. How are you feeling about the Sulphur-Lincoln rematch? So my initial thoughts is Lincoln Christian is a better team this year than they were last year. And Sulphur might be a touch, maybe the same, if not a little bit lower. The Sulphur's team last year was really, really good and gave Lincoln Christian a whole lot more than they wanted. I mean, definitely got a favorite Lincoln Christian in the game, but not that I'm rooting for teams, but man, if Sulphur can win it, that would be awesome. That would be awesome for them. And I think a lot of teams around the state, a lot of teams in Class 3A will be rooting for Sulphur. Right or wrong, I don't know, but that's just the feeling I get. $52 for Adair. Okay, 52. 52 for Adair, 66 for Talihina. BD Photography. Talihina's video is what I'm working on right now. Coach G gave me 24-hour notice last year, so after the Fairland game, I started getting footage started. BD, you do a great job, buddy. I see your stuff all the time. All the time. You do great. Productions. Lincoln is going to beat Sulphur. They're definitely the favorites. They are definitely the favorites. Junk says, go Bulldogs. Sulphur Bulldogs? No. Lincoln Bulldogs? I think I know which Bulldogs you're going for. Production says, I am pro Lincoln and pro Marlow. Well, I can tell you, Lincoln Christian, Doug Nelson, one of the best humans on the earth. So if Lincoln Christian wins it, I'm happy for Doug Nelson. Real quickly, A1 football. I think that's, we went through all the 2As. So real quickly, A1 football. Did I go over my time limit on TikTok? Yeah, I just went over. Dead gone it. Now I got to edit that down. The real voice over on TikTok. What do you think of the Tallahassee game last Friday? Getting to it right now. I hate to do this to you, the real voice on TikTok, but I got to end this TikTok. Come over to YouTube. Let me put the link in here real quick so you don't have to go searching for it. Come over here. Come with us. Click that link. Come over with us. Do private schools need their own league? Joe Daddy, bring that question over to YouTube. Let's talk about that. I got an answer for you. A lot of people won't like it, but it's the answer. So, and I can tell you what Arkansas does too, a little bit different than those. I think we've talked about it before, but I got it in TikTok though. So come over to the YouTube side at High School Huddle. Please come over there. I want to keep it going. Jackson, thanks for supporting Pryor football this year. You gave my Wednesday night not so boring tuning in. Jackson, absolutely. Man, those good teams, and man, just come up short. It happens all the time. It stinks, man. Pryor was thinking that, and still had their best team ever. It stinks. I get it. The further you go, the more it hurts. So, Jackson, thank you for that. You can still tune in on Wednesday night. Pass some time by this week and next week. We'll all wrap it up this week and next week for the football side of things. So, come over to YouTube, guys. Keep it going. All right. And now, all right. I got to go back and edit TikTok. TikTok, if you go over an hour, you have to edit down to an hour. So anyway, okay. Back to comments. Sorry. Did we get A1 football in? We did not. We go over this real quick. A1 football, Tonkawa over Pecola, 37-12. Game was played in Catoosa. We were in Catoosa a couple weeks ago with the 6A1 semifinal games. Great place, great facility. They took care of us well over there. Tonkawa, man, they're for a while, several years ago, they couldn't lose a football game. They were so good. But they're in the title game for the first time since winning the state championship back in 2018. Weston Freeman, 100 yards rushing, had a touchdown. Tonkawa had a 17-6 lead at half and eventually won that one 37-12. Rejoice Christian, they had a tough game themselves with Pawhuska as expected. That game over in Oologah. 14-6 after the first quarter, 14-12 at halftime. Back and forth. This was another fantastic ball game. Tallahassee had a great game. Adair had a great game. And Rejoice Christian had a great game as well. Compton Nero, the quarterback, 9 of 12, passing 277 yards and 3 touchdowns. Xavier Okafowizi, 91 yards receiving. He had 2 touchdowns. Of course, he's headed to the University of Oklahoma. So it will be Tonkawa and Rejoice Christian. My mind says go Tonkawa. On that one. And then finally, A2 football. Hominy gets past Allen, doubles it up, more than doubles them up, 44-21. This is the first title game for Hominy since 2016, as this game was played over at Ebb North. Blaine Hip, 119 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, added almost 100 rushing yards, also another touchdown there. Allen has been eliminated by Hominy in 22, 23, and 25, so they're sick and tired of seeing Hominy on their playoff schedule. But Allen, great season for the Mustangs, man. Started off 1-3, then they won 8 games in a row. Great job by them. Allen Mustangs. I knew them as a baseball school. Never really knew them as a football school, but I do now. And then finally, last game we can talk about before going into some other topics that are popping up here. Appreciate those. Tallahassee in Fairland, 47-46, game played in Beggs, Oklahoma. And man, oh man, I thought Charlie, I thought you guys were done. Landon Griffith to Noah Lloyd. Hopefully Landon will be at the press conference tomorrow. Landon to Noah Lloyd on a 50-yard touchdown with 25 seconds. I saw the highlight video, caught it at the 10, ran it in with just 25 seconds left as Tallahassee rallied from a 12-point deficit. They were down 38-26 in the third quarter. Come back and win it, man. I would have been heartbroken. I'm just being honest with you. I would have been heartbroken if Talihina did not make the state championship. They made it in its title game last year. And man, it was either championship game or bust for them this year. That's tough to say for a lot of schools. If you don't make the championship game, it's not a good year. Talihina rallied, got the victory. Lloyd with the interception to seal the victory as well, as Fairlane had one last desperation chance there. Griffith, 51 passing scores this year for the Golden Tigers, and I do believe that leads the state of Oklahoma in that category as well. So this is the I mentioned this a little bit earlier on the stream, but Talihina's last state championship was back in 1966. Same thing for Sand Springs. Their last championship was 1966, and they won a state title. So can Talihina do it again? Hats off to Fairland. We talked about them throughout a good part of the second part of the season. They had a great basketball team last year. I'm certainly thinking they're going to be good again this year in basketball, simply because their football team's good. So they're probably going to be good in football as well. Really, to be honest with you, you didn't see Fairland making this deep run like they did this year. So congratulations to them, as we are now down to only one Owls team this season. That is the Elgin Owls. Of course, there's only 12 teams left playing football this week in Oklahoma. So great A2 football games. It will be Talihina and Hominy. As I said at the beginning of the year, I'm picking Talihina to win the state championship. I'm going to do the same thing. I will be picking Talihina to win it. I don't know if that's a good thing for you guys or not. We'll find out. It was Landon Griffith to Cy Ammons. Oh, okay. Thank you. A2, Landon Griffin to Ammons. Cy. Thank you. That will be ready for Wednesday's show, Cy Ammons. Perfect. Thank you. Yep. Cy will be at the press conference tomorrow, I do believe. Joseph, seen where Bixby athletes can get NIL deals. Yep. Yes. And that's through the school. And that was a conversation earlier in the year, maybe over the summertime. Coach Bill Blankenship of Wasso said they don't have it right now, but that it was coming. So no surprise there. Kevin says, go Rejoice. Eagles going to be a great class 1A1 final. Absolutely, it's going to be a fantastic class with Rejoice and Tonkawa. And I thought Rejoice was going to kind of run with it, but I think they're going to be in a dogfight with Tonkawa. Tonkawa, very physical team. So that'll be a fun ball game. Of course, you got standout athletes over at Rejoice Christian, so it'd be a great matchup. It'd be a tremendous matchup. That's why I say I think these games this week, these 6 title games have a better chance of being better than last week's title games. We'll see. Hopefully I'm not building them up in my mind, but I really think a lot of people think, hopefully the same way I do, that these games will be perhaps better. Okay, so production. Should there be a different category for Christian schools in Oklahoma? Well, we can have that debate whether it should be in or not, but I can tell you they're not leaving. Once they were brought in, which I don't know if it was 60s, 70s, whenever it was, when they came in, they were in for good. You can't not kick them out. You cannot. It's not going to happen. You cannot do that. OSA, if they wanted to, they could try that, and then you're going to have a court case number within 5 minutes of that happen, and they're going to lose that court case. So they're not going anywhere. So you got to find out other solutions outside of that. I do think the transfer rule will bring that down a little bit. Now that we have transfers in Oklahoma, remember you're allowed a free transfer, or you can move into that school district. That has not changed as well. But I think that has helped a little bit. but there's still some advantages. And there's some public schools that have advantages like private schools do. I mean, I think if you live in the Middale School District, there's multiple. I can't remember, 1, 2, 3, maybe close to 4,000 9 through 12 students in the Middale School District. And if you start, you can live right next door to Dell City. You can live right next door to Dell City, and before you go to ninth grade, you can go to Carl Albert. So, could that be an advantage in Middale? Yes. Bixby, Owasso, all the things they have going on, could that be an advantage? Yes. If you're, I don't want to get into specifics, but I can remember way back when I was playing Legion baseball, summertime, Woodward was really good because so many towns were near Woodward. In summer baseball, when Bing was really good, they were all around all those schools around Ada, Asher, and Allen, all those schools around so there's advantages for but there, obviously the private schools do have their advantages as well. So they will not get their own league. Will not happen. Jason, going back to Adair, McCord was standing on business. I haven't heard that one in a long time. Standing on business. My kids roll their eyes when I try to talk like that. Probably the kid in overtime in the semis. Yes. I saw that play. I know exactly what you're talking about. Sure did. Private school, let's see here. Private schools have to get their own playoff at least. Not going to happen. I can tell you one thing here in 1 second. Junk. The small schools have been so much fun to watch the last few years. Absolutely. Absolutely. Production have a map of all Oklahoma schools in Oklahoma. So here's the other thing on the private school deal. So every year, last several years anyway, Lincoln Christian has played Shiloh Christian, which is a private school in Arkansas. And from my understanding, Shiloh Christian is the same class or same size as Lincoln Christian, which Lincoln Christian by ADM would be a 2A1 school. But because of their success, they're bumped up a class to class 3A. Imagine Lincoln Christian 2A1. That would not be a whole lot of fun. In Arkansas, Shiloh Christian, who played in Arkansas, there's 7 classes. In Arkansas, Shiloh Christian played for the Class 6A state championship this year. So they obviously won a few years ago in 3A. They got bumped up to 4A. Won that one, they got bumped to 5A. In Oklahoma, you're limited to 1 bump. You're only allowed to go 1 bump. In Arkansas, there's no limit. If you meet a certain criteria, you keep bumping up and up and up and up and up. Now, Oklahoma tried that. The OSSA passed that, and McGinnis and several of the other private schools went to court and won that court hearing against the OSSAA. Now, they says because of safety issues is what the McGinnis lawyers would say, that it's not unsafe for 2A or 2A1 numbers to be competing against 5A, 6A numbers is how what they pleaded to the judge. But they allow that in Arkansas. They tried that in Oklahoma. In Oklahoma, they tried to do the bump too. In fact, this summer, McGinnis was going to be in 6A Division 2, and then the court ruled against the OSSAA, and so they had all the teams had to redo their district schedules and all that chaos, and therefore they're only able to bump up 1 class. So don't know what the answer is. Obviously, bumping them up. I mean, and we've said this before. Lincoln Christian compete in 5A football today if they were bumped up. There's no doubt. Rejoice Christian can compete in 2A and 3A football. Jason, think these kids these days had Riz 6'7". Yeah, I think that's right. So, all right, man, we've gone for about almost an hour and a half. If there's any other questions, Matt, we got a few moments here. I got a be at UCO at 8:45 in the morning. Got to work. Make sure I got to get the audio right for Chris Frost. Got to make sure we have good audio. Got to make sure coaches and players speak into their microphones. Oh, junk. I never even thought about that being high school football. Revenue sharing. Oh, my goodness. Whew. So maybe when college football maybe ever figures that out, maybe that would be one day. Revenue sharing, NIL, transfers. I'm getting old. Oh, did I not make a pick for 282? Where's my mouse? There it is. Pick for 282. My unofficial 282 pick on Sunday night. Man, I've met so many good friends over in Adair this year. That's what makes it tough. I will say this. On Sunday night, I got to make it official on Wednesday. My brain tells me Vian, my heart tells me Adair. They're going to fight it out over the next couple of days, so I will make that decision on Wednesday. Chris Hayes, is the press conference thing live? It is not live. They want as much as media members there as possible to give the student athletes the best environment that they can. They want the room full of questions, room full of cameras. They want that to have a kind of a lifelong memory for those players. So will not be carried live, but as I mentioned earlier, just like last week, I went and there for the 2 hours of press conferences, talked with some coaches and players afterwards, and then I went to go get a bite to eat, did some setup at UCO. I've already set up at UCO. I just got to take my computer over here that I'm streaming on now. So the hard work at UCO is already done. I got to get there probably on Wednesday to put the final touches on everything. But I will come back tomorrow afternoon sometime, and upload those press conferences on the High School Huddle YouTube channel. So won't be live, but I will have it here on the High School Huddle YouTube page. You control media? No, I'm far from controlling media day. Nope. I'm part of the media for High School Huddle, part of the media for the NFHS Network for the production. So no, that is put on by the OSSAA. Trust me, if I told the folks from Laverne and Adair to come to a media day at 9 a.m. at UCO, they probably wouldn't. They would probably tell me no. But when the OSSAA asks, it's a little bit different. So no, I'm not in control of media day, and UCO does all the sounds, all the microphones, all that stuff. We just tie into their stuff. So, Jason, don't let me down. I'm trying not to. I try to be perfect all season long in everything that we do, but I really try to be perfect during the 2 weeks of the state championship, just because I know how much it means to everybody. I grew up loving high school state championships. I say this all the time. I remember watching all the state championships that were televised, whether it be Cox or Channel 9. I lived for it, loved it. And so when I got the honor to produce these state championship games, I know what it means to everybody, for the players, coaches, fans, because those are lifetime memories. So there's a lot of pressure to make sure everything goes exactly the way it should. And if it doesn't go perfect, I know people get upset, but I really get upset. And luckily, we had a really good week last week, looking to do the same thing. We've had some really good years over the last couple of years. So we're looking to do the same thing again this week. So, but no, I'm not in charge of the media day. Joseph, recipe Coach Pruitt, 2 state championships for Anadarko. Yeah, tough news. Coach Pruitt, who was with Hinton Public Schools football, also the track coach, passed away in a car accident. Just tough news there. It is Monday night. Did I say Sunday? It is Monday night. My bad. I was sick Sunday night. Courtney, don't bet against Adair. I know. That's what makes it really tough. Vian's really good. Vian's really good, man. They are really good. Mason Wright. Adair gave up how many to Stroud? 40 to Stroud? Man. Junk. Adair by 6-ish. It's going to be good. Dustin, go ahead and pick against Vian. Go ahead and pick Vian, please. I don't think I've picked against Adair this year, though, have I? I don't think I have. So I don't know if you want me picking Vian. That's Phil. You got me. Oh, please don't get me confused with Phil. Jason says, always go with your heart. Some wise men once said that. You know what, Jason? I bet you on Wednesday night I go with my heart. I bet you I'd go with my heart. Jason, and remember what TJ says, Adair only fears God and everyone else fears Adair. Yep. I've seen TJ on the Facebooks. He's been busy. Productions. Marlo goes to the ladder tournament this week, so only like these days of practice sent off to play. Chris. Is there a director that picks the camera views to show on that UCO coverage or you? I would say 90% of the time it is I. Maybe 70%. I control the camera angles, yes. But yeah, most of the time it's me. I'm switching cameras for the most part. And Ronnie does the most, not all, most of the replays. I do all the graphics. So when you see total yards, Bixby 120, Owasso 75, that's me. Joseph, who you got if Bixby played Carl Albert? Not even close. Bixby wins easily. Easily. That's the easiest question I've had all night. Bixby definitely wins that game. Carl Albert's a good team, obviously, but we thought that year of the COVID, Bixby and Carl Albert played, and it was no contest. And Bixby's much better than they were. Crazy that is. Bixby's much better than they were back then. So, yeah, easy one. Follow up, you got beef with the silent cameraman. He went turf view on you several times. He did. For the most part, did good, but yeah, he went turf times on me a few times. Thanks for noticing, Chris. Thanks for noticing. Yeah, it's funny. Switching. Damn it. Yeah. I don't get to all that, but yeah. And when you see turf, I see turf almost all the time. You got to keep the camera up. Don't go down. Keep it up all the time. Even if when you're walking, I know you're getting in position, but keep it up. Who would win if Guthrie played Marlowe in football? Guthrie's really good defensively. I think Marlowe could win sometimes. I think Guthrie would win more times than not, but I think Marlowe would win. I think Guthrie would win. See, Guthrie, community kids, Guthrie kids. If you play first grade football, you're probably playing 12th grade football in Guthrie. We don't get all the transfers in Guthrie. Man, I would say Guthrie would win most times 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10 times. I mean, they're 5A. They should win, right? Although I will tell you, 5A, Guthrie played 2A Jones a few years back. Of course, Jones was really good with the May quarterback, and Jones beat Guthrie in a really, really, really close game. Dustin, I think this year Guthrie's team would have won, though. The 4A, the number 4 for Stroud may be the best running back I've seen all year for 2A2, and I've seen a lot of live streams. Did I write Stroud's quarterback down? Or running back? I did not. I guess Stroud also missed a 30-yard field. No, Adair. Adair missed a 30-yard field goal. Or was it Stroud? Who missed the field goal before overtime? Who had a chance to win that game? Jason, side question, what are your thoughts on Eric Morris at Oklahoma State? I watched that press conference today live, and we'll see. Remember, Seth Luttrell came from North Texas. It wasn't quite what happened there, but I think OSU, for what they have, I think that was the best coach they could get out there. I think he'll do a good job for him. I think he'll do a good job. But he brought up OU in his press conference. That's not. I didn't like that, but he did say he wants to play OU. He wants to play OU. Don't be talking about OU. Worry about OSU. Ugh, I didn't like that part. But I bet the OSU faithful probably liked it. Bixby is on another level this year. Yeah, man, they are. They are truly on a different level. Bixby versus OSU. I think Bixby would hold for a good half, but OSU probably, Division I kids would probably take over. Marlo is still looking for 2 non-district games. Yeah, I think predictions, a lot of teams are in that spot right now just because schools are waiting to see what district alignments they will have. Hopefully we'll know that in a month or so. District alignments might be a little bit more than a month on district alignment. But, yeah, so I think a lot of people are waiting to see what they are and then go from there. Jason, Adair Big, 69. 69, he's the, okay, so Adair had the chance to win it with 3 seconds left, but my man wears jersey number 69, missed that 30-yard field goal. Man, if he would have made that 30-yard field goal, I'd have Phil do the high school huddle without a shirt on. The Beck kid is really good. Okay, so is that the Stroud kid, Beck? I think that's right. Adair missed the field goal. Okay. Production says Marlowe got Paul's Valley for a non-district. Don't know if that's true or not. Well, that would be a victory for Marlowe if it was Paul's Valley. Been down a little bit. Oh, no doubt. Jason talking about 69, number 69. What's his name? I'm tired of calling him number 69. But when I showed up for the Adair Holdenville game, and I see big 69 out there kicking extra points. Like, that is big time right there. That is big time. Jinx, I think Ryan Keister, who's our offensive lineman, I think he was also Jinx's punter as well. I think he wore 69 as well. Cam Carlson. Thank you, guys. Got to write that down. I'll put that in the production notes. If it comes down to a kick, watch out for 69. My pen's not working. My pen doesn't want me to write down 69 Cam Carlson. Here we go. Number 69. Cam Carlson. Love it. Love it. Kicker. Got it. All right. Well, I got an early wake-up call for UCO press conferences. So, man, I think that'll do it. I think we've done a great job of talking this one. Appreciate everyone on Monday night, too. Gone last night due to the illness, but this is already making me feel a whole lot better. I thought I was going to take some medicine before going to bed, but this high school football talk has made me feel a whole lot better. So glad to have that. So Productions, good night, Chris. See you Wednesday. Yep, we'll let you have the last word, Productions. Appreciate everybody checking it out tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun. Wednesday night high school huddle. 6 games to preview, 6 games to pick. And we're also talking about these games a little bit more in depth that happened this past week, the championships and the semifinal games. It's going to be a fantastic show. So glad you joined me talking high school football. Got to learn a few more notes on my notepads here, on my notes as well. So you guys are awesome. Appreciate you. Thanks for all the good wells. Get better. Appreciate that. Okay, I got to let Jason have the final word. You know what? I'm going to do this real quick. So we're going to let Courtney have it. All my Adair folks reminding me why I should be picking Adair. I can already tell you my heart's going to win. My heart's going to win out. Talk to you guys Wednesday.